If we are talking about the potential shallow geothermal energy in Slovenia, we can talk in each country on the world, because this potential shallow energy is renewable energy and is under our feet. So we can use it everywhere and everywhere we want. Another point is that shallow geothermal energy is presented everywhere and constantly. The energy is stored in the form under the Earth's surface to 300 or 400 meters. Maybe with this depth, everybody not agree. Mostly we are talking about 100, 150 meters, but also we are using the deep geothermal energy. When we are drilling about 1,000, 2,300 meters, in some cases we can produce also the electricity. But we are not talking, we are talking about this shallow geothermal energy. We exploit this energy, and for this we need the help of geothermal heat pumps. So we need electricity, of course, if we want to use this geothermal energy, and if we get this energy from coal thermal power plant, then we are not green, you know, then we are in another way. So if we get from the powers of hydropowers or maybe nuclear power, I agree with the nuclear power, I have no problem with nuclear power, okay, then we have and close this system. For me and for a future, I think so there is no reason that we don't use geothermal energy for heating and cooling. And I will show you in some examples, and such examples you can find all over the world. Shallow geothermal system, we have two systems, is closed loop systems and open loop systems. When we are talking about the heat pumps, of course you know that you have also the air heat pumps. We are using the air for heating, but in these cases we are talking about the geothermal heat pumps. And first closed loop system, that means you can see this in this picture. That means that we are not using the underground water. We are using the water inside the pipes. So is no influence of water outside the pumps, and so this is the name of the closed loop system. And of course then we are using this for floor heating, of course, and heat water. Open loop system, that means that we are using the groundwater. But in using in the groundwater we have to be very careful, because depends that economy of using this is about 25 meters depth, because if the water table is deeper, then economy is not very good, and you use too much energy for pumping. And of course in this system also you have the floor heating. In floor heating you should be very careful. You cannot use it for cooling, because if you are using for cooling, then you can have a problem with condensate. Mother Nature gives us something that we can use this shallow geothermal energy, because after the depth of 10 meters, I'm talking approximately about the Central Europe or all Europe, you know, the degree of the soil is about 10, 12 degrees, and we can expect in Central Europe, of course also in Slovenia in some parts, that on 1,000 meters we will have about 30 degrees Celsius warm of water of the soil. So it's not important if we have a summer or we have a winter. After 10 meters we have a very stability temperature, and this temperature with the deeper rise up. Okay, most of us are from Slovenia, but anyway, for a foreigner guest, this is 5, 6 towns in Slovenia. Okay, Ljubljana is the bigger, but we make this card, and I want to tell too that this card is you can get on internet, because these cards use Geological Survey for Slovenia, Geološki zavod Slovenia, and this is the public institution, and such cards you can find. So depends where you're living, then you can decide what kind of system you will use. So water heat pumps means that you are using water, groundwater. Of course, you have also groundwater here, but I will explain you. And water often and very often we have this blue color, but generally a lot of Slovenia is in brown color. So that means that in this system you can use the open loop system where you have the blue. In a brown color you will use the closed loop system. And for a very simple example, what can you expect from water wells? So we have an open loop system. We are pumping the water, and in another well or borehole we are injecting the water. So we have an open loop system. Approximately with very low, we are talking about 0.5 liter per second. You see that we can take 8.4 kilowatts. And who is generally talking about the energy, we know that very good houses, we need maybe for 150 square meters, maybe we need 5-6 kilowatts. But if we are going to the housing and big houses, and also we can see that in the very high low we can talk about the megawatts. And this is very important. So it's not limit also for housing, not only the private buildings. And one good example we have near Maribor, where we have the potential of this energy more than megawatts. Maybe this housing will be in the near future built up. When we are talking about the closed loop system, that means that we are using the heat of the soil. Then we are using the German norms. It's especially in Slovenia and generally in Europe, where we have the what kind of soil we have and how many energy, how many watts we can get per meter. So it depends. If you are living in the middle of the South Slovenia, then you can expect that your heat pump will work about 1,800 hours per year. But if you are on the north, then you have to calculate about 2,400 hours. And of course, the capacity of the how many watts is maybe a little bit different. It's very easy to calculate if you have the 100-meter deep well and you have maybe 50 watts per meter. So 100 meter will give you the 5 kilowatts. You don't need any science of this. It's very simple to calculate it. Another possibility is, of course, in other geotechnical construction, you can put the pipes for a closed loop system, is that energy piles. With these energy piles, you can use, and is very important that you use the reversible heat pump. That means that in summer you cooling, in winter you heat the house. Of course, and you have a good, very good potential with this energy because in the summertime you collect the energy, heat energy. In winter time you just heat the houses. If you have any the dilemma where you will or what kind of energy use with heat pumps, you can find the such card, and this is Slovenia, and where and how many heat pumps we still have installed in Slovenia, and what kind of energy, what kind of system we use. Is it open lob system or is closed lob system? So here near this is the part of our Adriatic Sea. They are also using the open lob system from the sea. So if you are living near the lake, you know, it's also possibility that you use it open lob system. And depends, this is maybe 5-10 years old card. We will provide a new one maybe in next 10 years. So here we are talking about the ground source heat pumps in Slovenia. We try to find, but okay, this is not really up to date, 2015, but I hope we will up to date in 2020. And how many typical small units we installed in Slovenia, and we were close to 10,000 in 2015. But when I show you the next slide, you will see that we are on 25 system. We are more than 10,000. Of course, the government. We heard something about the transportation. Also, the government have a action plan, you know, to develop that people use more and more heat pumps for heating and cooling. And action plan is that in 2020 we will have more than 30,000 of the units. But generally, if we have the trend 2008, 2010, we see 18% rising up, you know, maybe the real in 2020 will be little more than 20,000 heat pumps in Slovenia. For conclusion, because we have not so much time, you know, and we are a little bit tired, you know, so it's no any reason that in the future and now that we use the geothermal energy, shallow geothermal energy for cooling and heating, and I'm sure that we can reach this goal, but for all these heat pumps we need electricity, and I'm not agree that in a short time that we cannot use anymore the coal or the gas for the production of electricity. I am mining engineer, so good luck.